What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope all you're having a great day so far today. Hope you all had a great weekend. Getting into this episode of GH, I enjoyed this for the most part. I don't understand why people just won't learn their lesson when it comes to Miss Wu. I love Miss Wu. Miss Wu is making her presence felt in Port Charles. I love it. It's like inch by inch, day by day, she's like slowly but surely taking control of the town. Sonny needs to open his eyes to this, cause I'm like, bruh, you are on your way to being booted the hell out of power, and she's on her way to elevating her power, cause she's definitely working towards it, and I think that's what she's trying to do, slowly but surely inch Sonny the hell out of there, cause she's not playing no games. Now Cody is sitting here calling her. He's trying to get in on her poker game, but of course he can't afford the entry fee into the poker game. So he want her to cover the entry fee in exchange that he'll wipe out all the other players and give her a big fat cut of it. She was like, alright, that's interesting, but I'll cover your entry fee, but you need to follow my rules, and I need you to help certain people win, and I need you to make sure certain people lose. So he down for it and whatnot. I feel like, when will these people learn? Curtis is now feeling the effects of partnering up with her, and soon enough Cody will feel the effects as well, because partnering up with Miss Wu sounds good in theory, because she already promised Cody, oh, you're gonna make big money, you're gonna do this, I'm gonna make you a lot of money. Yeah, that sounds like she's selling you some beans. She's selling him, a bill of goods at this point, because I'm like, sir, you're dealing with a mobster. Curtis is now realizing more and more that he made a mistake partnering up with her. Cody's going to realize that soon enough too. Like, you don't get in bed with mobsters, because it does not end well. They're going to want something from you. Something that you never thought you would have to give. You know what I mean? At some point, it's going to come to a head. And after Cody left and Curtis showed up, because he got the phone call from the bartender that Ms. Wu was up in there. So Curtis shows up. He was like, so who was you meeting with? The way Ms. Wu snapped on him, she was like, yeah, that's none of your business who I was meeting with. I said, oh, okay. Curtis, but listen, Curtis, you are in business with Madam Wu. You don't need to ask her no questions. Who she met up with is on a need to know basis, and you don't need to know. And she made that abundantly clear. And she let him know, like, listen, I'm going to do you a favor. I came here to give you a gift. She wants to upgrade his sound system. Of course, Curtis is like, nah, I don't need it. Thank you, but no thank you. Miss Wu pretty much told him, listen, I'm not asking you to take it. I'm telling you that you're going to take it, because the club's success benefits my poker games and my business dealings. So I need this club to stay open, people to be up in here. I need it to be a front, basically. That's pretty much what she wants it to be, her front. And that's what it turned into. And Curtis is so stupid. I'm like, you just now realizing this? That was her plan from the get-go, was to turn that nightclub into a front. That's what Joey Novak wanted from the beginning. You remember the Novak crime family? That's what they wanted, for that club to be a front, and Miss Wu succeeded in making it that. So he's under her thumb at this point. Curtis has no choice. Because she feel like talent like Chase and all that could bring in new customers, new business, new younger customers, new younger talent. It could just be profitable and good for them all the way around. So she needs that business to pop and be a success. Curtis needs to get out of there. He needs to get out, find a way to get some dirt on her. Like, you need to talk to Sonny, find a way to get out from under her thumb, because the more he gets in bed with this woman, the worse it's going to be. So he was on the phone with somebody asking him if they found it. At first, I'm thinking he was digging up dirt on Miss Wu at first. But then as the episode went on, I'm figuring out, oh, that must be what he really looking for. Because Aunt Stella went down to the PCPD to talk to Jordan. She finally came clean with Jordan about what she remembered. And she told her, listen, I swiped your divorce papers. I had a stroke. I forgot what I did with them or what happened to them. Jordan was pissed. She said, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, you sitting over here playing God with my marriage? And that's exactly what Stella did, because she ain't had no business doing that foolishness. And you're just now saying something about it a whole year later? Like, come on now. And she talking about, oh, she hasn't told Curtis about it because she felt Jordan was the first one that needed to know. So your nephew wasn't the first one that needed to know? Not your nephew, the one that's actually getting married? He's getting married. He should have been the one to know first. Like, he's running around looking for these damn divorce papers, even though they should have been looking for him a year ago. I'm just saying. I wonder if they're going to tell him, because Curtis popped up and was like, I talked to my guy, my attorney, and he hasn't found these divorce papers. They're nowhere on record. So I really hope Jordan tell him. You know what I mean? Like, don't sit there and try to pull a Stella and keep lying. That man need to know. He need to know a lot of things, but we're going to start with this divorce paper business first. Stella just needs to stop meddling in folks' life. Like, she just need to go sit down. I can't stand some old folk that want to be meddlesome. Like, can you please go have a sit down somewhere and stop all this foolishness? Please and thank you. So anyway, moving on from that, Cody was with Dante or whatever, like asking Dante all these questions about Mac, talking about, oh, your boss seemed to think I had something to do with what happened to Ava Jerome. And Mac, Dante was like, listen, Mac ain't trying to pin nothing on you. He is not trying to, throw you under the bus for something that you clearly didn't do. And that's what I'm saying. Cody need to go sit down somewhere. Like, he only asked a couple people some questions about you. It's not like he's running all around town asking about you. And Dante told him, he said, well, he was a friend of your mother's back in the day, so maybe that's why he's taking an interest in you or whatever. But other than that, Dante was like, listen, I ain't heard nothing about you being a prime suspect, because obviously Cody's not a suspect. Like, you basically live on a Quartermain ground, so him being at the function was natural. So it's not like somebody's trying to pin anything on you. It's just a simple fact that, he's asking everybody's questions. Like, as far as this investigation go, he's questioning everybody. It's not just you. It's called him doing his damn job. That's what he gets paid for. Cody's just gonna be trouble, and I feel like Dante just need to separate himself from him, like, because he's not gonna be nothing but trouble. I'm just saying, like, separate yourself from the foolishness. So anyway, moving on from that, I'm glad Ned had that conversation with BLQ, because I feel like she needed to hear it, even though she didn't really want to hear it. It needed to be said. I feel like she's being a little naive about this situation with Chase. Like, she thinks that she has everything well in hand. And Ned reminded her, he said, listen, what you and Chase are going through right now, me and your mother already went through over 20 years ago. And it didn't work out for us. Like, we tried the whole be married thing plus be in the music business together. It didn't work. So he was like, chances are, basically, I just want you to be careful, because it may not work for you either. She thinks that, her luck is going to be different than her parents' luck. Not the way that is going. Because look at the argument that they had recently about how she handles business. She went to Sonny, of all people, for help. And Chase was pissed by that. He doesn't want a mob boss associated with him, because he's still with the PCPD and he's still trying to get with the PCPD. Like, he's still trying to get off suspension. So he can't have Sonny involved anywhere near his career, his music career. And she did that without talking to him. They got off to a bad start already. And then she keeps focusing on this Link stuff. And even Chase has reservations about them working together. Being in a relationship and working together. Because what Ned said was so true. He was like, listen, what you love about each other as people may drive you crazy as business partners. That shit was so profound. It was true. It was so true. That's why I'm a firm believer in never mixing business with pleasure. I never do. I just can't do that. That's just a recipe for disaster. I've seen it happen a million times with people at my jobs, at a few of my old jobs. That's what they do. They get together, then rumors start going around, and they start arguing, and then it's a hostile work environment. I've seen it so many times, and it's like, it really don't work. You might have a few that could pull it off, but it's very few that can do that. Very few. And sometimes it still don't last for the long haul. You might get a year out of it, maybe 2. So I think they need to pump the brakes on this whole working together thing, because if y'all gonna be a couple, y'all might need to pump your brakes. Honestly, I feel like BLQ, she needs to revive L&B Records. She needs to revive that company. She needs to. I think ELQ still owns L&B Records. I think, and if they do, I would talk to Valentine and Ned and see if they could throw a budget behind the company and, give her a budget so she could hire some fresh new artists, sign some new people, and really make the record company profitable again, because I think it can be. And I think she could definitely sign Chase to a record deal as an artist for the company. Cameron could definitely get signed on as an artist. it's a lot of talent in that town that people who could actually sing. Hell, even Epiphany could get signed because everybody knows she could blow. I feel like that's where BLQ's attention should be focused, on being a record executive. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what it should be. Instead of managing talent, she should be running the label as CEO. I think that would be, more up her alley. And let Chase get a different manager, somebody reputable, whatever. Let him do that, so that way they're not exactly working as close together. I just feel like this whole working together thing is a recipe for disaster between them, because I don't see nothing going good. So anyway, moving on from that, Liz done had enough. Dante was asking her questions because he wanted to see some records or whatever to see if there was any similar incidents to what happened to Ava. Just to see maybe somebody else got hurt, you know what I mean? Because if not, then that means that Ava was the target, if it's not happening to somebody else. But they couldn't find anything of a similar incident. So of course Nicholas is nosing around trying to find out what Dante know and whatnot. And Dante was like, listen, it's still an active investigation. We're still looking. Liz done had enough at this point, because she went to go talk to Nicholas because she felt like him trying to give her an alibi was for himself and not for her. So I felt like he tried to gaslight her. He tried to play her, talking about, maybe you're imagining things, trying to downplay, what she's saying. And, Liz was starting to go off her rocker for a second. She was like, oh, you think I'm crazy now? You think? Nicholas was like, hold up. I don't think you anything. I'm just saying. Like, she was just going off. Like, and started just bawling out in his arms or whatever until Finn walked in. I wouldn't trust Nicholas, because Liz had a good point. She was like, you have been acting shifty lately. And she realizes that. Nicholas hasn't been Nicholas. Like, he's definitely been acting shady, way more shady than usual, acting like he got something to hide. So I don't blame Liz for questioning him. Like, what is your motivation? Like, are you trying to really be a friend and help me, or are you trying to help yourself? Because she can't recall if she was really with him during the time Ava was attacked. So she can't say that for certain. And she started to tell Finn that she's thinking about going to the cops and telling them the truth, because she don't want to sit here and give no false alibi if she could be the one who did it, or if Nicholas could have been the one that did it. You know what I mean? She's not about to sit here and play that game. So anyway, Sonny was in Ava's room or whatever. Sonny is not buying Ava's bullshit. He not buying it. He was like, what am I protecting you from? Like, what do I got the security here? Who am I protecting you from? Because he's not buying what she's selling. Because he knows that her and Nicholas are having problems. And something happened to Esme that they're not saying. And he feel like her and Nicholas know what happened to that girl. Like, where did she go? She didn't just vanish off the face of the earth. She went somewhere. Because Sonny know a girl like Esme is not going to go this quiet. She's not going to go quietly like this. And Esme has been silent and shit. So he knows something ain't right. And he know Ava and Nicholas are at the center of it. But of course, Ava not telling them nothing. And I don't blame Ava for not telling them nothing. Because I feel like Ava would be a fool to tell Sonny anything about Esme. As much as Sonny's trying to, show concern for Avery's sake, and a lot of what he's doing for Ava is because of Avery. You know what I'm saying? I get it, because he's being very protective. He even told her, he said, well, if Nicholas has something to do with this, I can't let that stand. But I'm glad Ava not telling him nothing, because as much as he's being protective of her right now, I wouldn't trust Sonny. And Sonny should not trust Ava, because if they ever told each other any damning information about each other, you can bet your bottom dollar Ava or Sonny would use that against each other for custody of Avery. You know they would, in a heartbeat. So I don't blame her for keeping mum on this. She would be a fool to trust Sonny in that capacity. But I love what Ava pretty much told Sonny, was like, listen, if Nicholas did do something to hurt me, she was like, trust me, he ain't gonna get away with it. Because I love that she's saying that, because it's showing Sonny, like, listen, like, she's reminding him, do you know who you're talking to? Like, Ava's like, listen, I ain't no fragile, person. And we all know Ava ain't fragile. Far from it. She could definitely hold her own. So, I'm glad that they had that conversation, because Nicholas asked me to go down now. Honestly, it's time for Nick to go down and take a fall. It most certainly is. But anyway, I think that's the whole episode. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you all thought. And I will see you all later. Have a great night. See you all later. Peace.